And let's talk about the defenses, right? Especially when I was there. Which defense would you consider was the best unit? The 05 defense, as we just talked about, that beat the Seattle Seahawks. The 08 defense that had a historic year and won the championship. And the 2010 defense that just was knocking people out almost every week.
They were all great defenses. You know, I love all my defenses that I got the honor to coach, whether we had a winning record for the season or not, because I would always just ask you guys to give me all you got. And yourself, BMac, you right there in the front row of the class for that. Every time I ask you to go do something and do it with all the energy that you had, you did that in extra. And I'll always be grateful to all of you guys just for the environment that you gave me to coach in and the respect that you gave me. But in terms of picking who was the best, to me, they're all the best. But statistically speaking, man, ain't nobody going to touch that 2008 defense. They just can't. And I tell you what, I've often asked myself, why did that particular group, listen, you can go down through the statistic categories, fewest points allowed. That's the number one stat. That's the only stat they pay off on who won the game. Well, we were first there. But total yards, they rate on that. We won that. Rushing yards, we were number one in that. Passing yards, we were number one in that. Pass completion allowed, we were number one in that. Yards gained against the defense on first down. That's a critical stat. You know, you got to get that offense out of their comfort zone. We were number one in that. Third down success of getting off the field. We were number one in that. I mean, you can go red zone defense. You tell me in that we were number one. And I said, well, why was this group, you know me, having to put up with me for a few years, playing for me. I was always going to let you know where you were statistically.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thought it was a good yardstick to compare you strictly to other defenses, because your record as offense, defense, special teams, and you got to be good in all categories in all areas to be successful. But I wanted something to focus on my guys, where I could say, if I had to pound you over the head with something, I would. As you hear something that ain't good enough. And there was nothing there. But in doing that, I became very tuned in to what other teams' statistics were. And I started looking at that 08 defense. I said, man, I did it for 30 years, you know. And I said, I never looked at any kind of numbers like this. We were number one in everything. And I thought to myself, well, someday I'm going to write a book about that bunch of guys. Yep. Why were they so good? And I'll tell you why I think it was. You could all tackle, and you all wanted to tackle. And defense is still always going to be finding the guy with the ball and getting his butt on the ground. And every one of you guys it was like kicking a beehive, man. When that ball was snapped, you was after that ball, and you did not miss tackles. We also led another key statistic in big plays allowed for 6 straight years. And that was what an honor and a blessing, really, to get to coach you guys. And there was never a discipline problem, never a conditioning problem. You were just a special bunch of guys. And I said, I'm going to write a book about them someday. And I did.
So what's the name of the book, Coach?
You ain't got no time. Go ahead.
What's the title of the book?
I thought about that a long while, and I tell you, when I hit it up, I looked at every game we played, and looked at some of the television, discs coming back on them. I watched the whole game, and there was a sound bite from Mike talking to you guys in the Super Bowl game against Arizona.
Yep.
And Ben hit Santonio down in that corner with that unbelievable pass catch to take that lead after we'd lost it in the fourth quarter. It was a hit the whole game. And when they scored, there was still about a minute to go in the game, but we had to get off the field. And Mike had you guys around him, and he said, "You guys have done a great job. You got all these great numbers." He said, "But if you go out here in this particular possession and you stop these guys right now, you will become a legendary defense." That was Mike's words right there. Yep. And I said to myself, "Ooh, there's the title for my book, the legendary defense." And that's what it's called, a legendary defense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know whether I got to pay Mike royalties for that or not.
And another stat that's not necessarily a stat, but that season we had the toughest schedule in the National Football League.
I think that's a key stat. Key stat. The one based on the one-loss record of the guys going into it, it was the toughest one, the most difficult season. And I think we gave up, I don't know, 230 yards a game or something like that. That was when I played and everybody ran the ball, we would give up 250 yards a game, and that was unheard of stats. Yeah. And you guys were 230 something, man.
Oh yeah, we held 13 straight opponents to under 300 yards. Never been done before. 13 straight offenses we faced didn't get 300 yards total offense.
Well, it went all the way till the Tennessee game before a single runner had ever gotten to 100 yards.
Yeah, Chris Johnson broke out on us. You told us to be gap sound.
I think that was a good thing to happen to us, and that losing that game down there, because we were really rolling. And I'm not going to say we were getting a little full of ourselves, but that helped tapped us back into reality. Said, "Hey, somebody's out there every week, and they ain't going to lay over and let you roll." And Tennessee had a great team, and we beat Baltimore 3 times that year, and Baltimore beat them in the playoffs. Yeah, and then we had to play them in the championship game, in a great game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great memories. But yes, that 08 defense, for our listeners and viewers, man, you heard what Coach gave you in regards to the numbers, but go look it up yourself. That was as he stated, the title of his book, A Legendary Defense, hopefully will be dropping in 2024 upon completion from the great Dick LeBeau. Make sure you go out and support